So I just had a thought the other day. I was playing some old games on PS3, and I'm always a person who's very curious as to what could have been if an older game could have come into a newer generation of consoles, or if they could have remastered or remade an older game. And I was playing Castlevania Lords of Shadows, and man, what an underrated classic that game was. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't groundbreaking in any way, but man, that game was actually really good. I really loved the game. It just had such a strong story, it had such good characters, good boss fights, and more interestingly enough, the world was very, very captivating. And I always wonder, what could have been if Castlevania was in modern generation of games? What could that look like? What could that be? So I wanted to start this new segment called Hear Me Out, and what this is gonna be essentially is basically just a modern rundown of what something, if we brought it back to today's day and age, what it could be and what it could look like. So here we go. So in my head, I pictured what an open-world action-adventure Castlevania game would look like. Typically, it would be a beautiful, scenic, majestic world, but like any Castlevania, it's going to be dangerous, sprinkled with a lot of high fantasy elements, so werewolves, trolls, goblins, witches, necromancers, all that kind of stuff. To set the scene, your protagonist will be coming into a rather oppressed world where the people are destitute, the lands are suffering from famine, and you're going to quickly find out that these lands are under some kind of demonic, vampiric tyranny. And being the main character, you will, of course, have to take on the dangerous task of freeing these people from their oppressors.
Oh shit, here we go again.
What you later find out is that there are three main generals who occupy specific regions of the open world. The world will be open from the start, so you can choose whoever you want to kill first, but the gimmick of the game is once you've killed a general, the other regions will be twice as hard. So enemies are going to be more aggressive, characters will be vulnerable to ambushes and assassination attempts, so on and so forth. Once all the generals are defeated and all the regions are freed, your name is going to be revered across the land, which is going to start the endgame. Once the generals are gone, their master will come looking for you, and once he does so, he will bring forth his entire wrath, and obviously killing innocent people. And spoiler alert, the master is obviously Dracula. At this point, main character syndrome will obviously set in, and now your job is to find Dracula's castle and defeat the vampire master. Now just to add a little bit of replayability, once Dracula is defeated, he will give you a choice. You can either kill him, which will result in him being resurrected after a couple 100 years or so, as with Castlevania lore, or you could choose to side with him as his right hand. Obviously, each ending will be different, and each ending will have a permanent effect on the world itself. And that's it, really. Castlevania is a really big and loved franchise, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who is just drooling at the mouth for a new Castlevania game. But all of this lies in the hands of Konami, and it's very doubtful that they would even see this video. But for the slight chance that they do, hey, Konami!
Stop being a bitch and come on!